And I'm here today with
James, Brent, Isaac.
Yay! You might know him from my show and from Emma Approved and from Social Medium, or from you're in a commercial right now.
Yeah, a couple.
A couple of commercials right now.
2016 was a good year.
Aw, not for me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. So today we're going to be making butterbeer, and we're going to be making chocolate frogs. And the chocolate frogs are super easy. The butterbeer, there are so many recipes for
I've
butterbeer.
heard, yeah.
And I was overwhelmed by them to the point of I don't know what I'm going to do. So I just picked one, and hopefully it's good.
Does the Universal Studios makes their own butterbeer as well? Is their recipe available?
They had, on their website, they had 6 different options. And I was like, well, which one is it? We clearly want yours, because that's super good.
But they only sell 3 versions now. They have the warm butterbeer, which is
that good?
Book accurate. It's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good. I go there at least once a month, and I have a warm butterbeer and a cold butterbeer and a frozen butterbeer, and I just really like my life for a little while.
I've had the cold ones because I went right when it opened, and they only had the cold ones.
Oh yeah, no,
I thought it was going to be
tasty.
too sugary, and I was like, no, it's not.
Hogwarts, the Wizarding World of Harry Potter is just multiple dreams coming true.
The food is surprisingly delicious too.
Way better. I've heard that J.K. Rowling actually taste tested the entire menu first to approve it, which would make sense because it is better than any theme park food you will ever go to. It's kind of really weird. It's about as close to fine dining as you're gonna get
in a theme park.
At a theme park.
Yeah.
But it's good. It's worth the money.
It is expensive. Alright, so we want tablespoons. So let's get started. It says in a small saucepan, we're going to combine the 1 cup of brown sugar and 2 tablespoons of water.
Okay.
So if you want to let's see if that fits. This is I assured him that this was going to be a quick one, but we're gonna really milk it.
Oh no, it's fine. This is a lot better than trying to fit, because it just doesn't really.
Well.
And the past few years I've been trying to change my ways of trying to fit square pegs into round holes, and this is quite a literal example. So I find
square that's
yeah, but it's something that doesn't fit into another thing, trying to make it fit. It's a parallel that I'm going to use to show my own progress in life emotionally.
So, let's ask you a question.
Okay.
Let's start with the book. If you were a wizard, which everyday tasks would you use your magic to speed them up? Or which, you know what that means.
Oh man, I would apparate like crazy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, teleportation.
That's such an LA answer.
Well, no, just in general, the closest thing to fly. I mean, I could fly with a broom, so that's cool. But at least with apparating, that would kill some time on some other stuff. Also, it would just be really cool to just pop out of nowhere, jumper style. I would save so many lives and be the superhero I always imagined myself to be one day. Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you.
Cool. And then what would you want to continue to do in a normal, everyday way?
Just Muggle version wise?
Yeah.
What would I keep? You know what? Either watching TV or reading, the normal case that I do
watch
that.
TV?
You could speed it up?
Dude, you know how you can have you seen, I wish I could remember what it's called. It's a reading thing, and it's a website, and it just flashes the words at you, but your brain catches up, so you can read crazy fast.
Really?
So it's already a Muggle thing.
Huh.
Right?
Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
Sleeping.
Again, how would wizards sleep differently than us?
deeper sleeps, like waking a spell that makes you wake up more rested. Which now that I'm talking,
that sounds
exists,
way better.
That sounds way better than the normal stuff. But I also just really like sleeping. It's the natural thing. My birthday.
Okay. So
I don't know.
No hagrid cake?
Yeah, I'm just listing things at this point that I experience on the daily basis.
You experience your birthday on a daily basis.
Well, yearly in that point. What's the next question?
The next question, what's your Hogwarts house?
I am a proud Ravenclaw.
I'm a Slytherin.
I
am.
Well, I wanted to be a
very
Slytherin when I first took the test.
Really?
Yeah.
You're the only person in the world?
I guess so, just because, I don't know, I mean, it's a common comment that I look a lot like Daniel Radcliffe, so I just kind of wanted to be the exact opposite and be like, I'm not Daniel Radcliffe, I'm not Harry Potter, I'm
I don't
Slytherin.
feel like Slytherin is the exact opposite, though.
I feel like it is the exact opposite
Ravenclaw is
to
the
Gryffindor.
exact opposite of Harry, though.
I mean, possibly. All I know is that all of his bad guys were in Slytherin, and like the good guys were like Gryffindor and stuff, and so Slytherin was like the
He
opposite.
was so stupid.
Which one?
Harry.
I don't think
He's such
was
a Dumbo.
Stupid. He's not stupid. He's just,
He got a package that was literally a broom-shaped package and was mystified by what it could contain.
He was new to the world. He was living in a closet at the time.
Okay.
God.
Actually, he had moved out of the closet.
Well, I mean, eventually. But, I mean, we're talking about the first time he got the closet. Either way. Either way. I took the test, wanted to be Slytherin. I got Ravenclaw. I was like, oh, well, it's not what I wanted. Then I looked it up and read like all the descriptions of Ravenclaw. Because at that point, I hadn't read all the books yet. And so I read all the descriptions and was like, oh, no, this is definitely me. Yeah, hardcore. So I'm sold on the Ravenclaw stuff. What's your Patronus?
The thing was a Siberian cat on that quiz.
Yes.
Which was the prettiest quiz ever.
It was pretty cool.
It was really attractive.
I got a white stallion.
Ooh.
I was disappointed.
I don't know, it's kind of awesome.
I wanted an elephant because that's what I feel is my spirit animal. But then I like started, complaining to all my friends that I got a white stallion, and they were like, just be happy you're not a dog. Like, everyone gets a dog of some
really?
kind. Dogs are apparently, like, really popular
Oh.
for the Patronus test. And so the fact that I just didn't get a dog of any kind.
I thought it was super fitting that I got an animal that was first a cat, like, sure. But then also a really cold cat. Like, a cold, exile-filled cat animal. And I was like, yeah, that works.
Okay.
That works. What class would you most want to take in Hogwarts?
Well, see, now this is interesting because I haven't read all of the books yet.
What?
I just finished The Half-Blood Prince.
Did you like it? I think that one's probably my favorite.
I loved it.
Yeah, I
Azkaban's
really liked
still my favorite.
Azkaban.
I'm reserving all judgment until I finish the whole series, but I was that kid growing up who was like, well, everyone's reading this thing and telling me to read it, so I'm not going to read it kind of a guy.
So you were a dick.
Yes.
Okay.
And then finally this past year I was like, no, I think it's time. I'm going to sit down. I'm gonna do this thing. And,
I'm aging. I think it's time to...
Why not? I'll read this
I like the
originally
conscious
children's
decision.
book. Yeah, I was like, it's time. Well, I had been to like the Harry Potter world or like Wizarding World in
You
Florida,
like the movies.
and I hadn't seen the movies either.
Oh,
I had been completely absent
Here's what
of
I'm
the whole like
picturing.
culture
You're
stuff.
sitting like in an armchair, just sitting.
As a
No
lazy
moment
boy.
before.
Yeah.
And you just suddenly look up. It's time. Like really dramatic.
It was similar to that. It was waiting in line at the Gringotts ride at Diagon Alley in the Wizarding World of Harry Potter in Florida. And just going, the attention to detail is ridiculous here. Apparently this does actually mean a lot to a lot of people. Maybe I should read the book. This sounds fun. That's pretty much where I went from there.
That I think, yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with that. So I am getting ready, the butter, salt, vinegar, and 4th cup of heavy cream, because we are going to stir this into the now boiling brown sugar mixture.
Oh, that was quick.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't answer the question. I think if I had to like gun pointed to my head type of deal, what's the fortune telling one?
Oh.
It's
Trelawney's.
Yeah,
what
Trelawney's
is it?
one. I would
Something Nancy? I can't remember.
Either way, reading tea leaves would be pretty cool.
half a teaspoon of salt. Do I want to put the salt in? Reading tea leaves. I don't know. I feel like I'm too Hermione-y. So it's just one of those. And it goes right in there. I don't think I would. I think that class would frustrate me because I wouldn't be able to grasp, like, what is it exactly that I am doing?
Yeah.
Which, I guess as an actor is a terrible, like...
Yeah, how come they didn't have any theater classes in Hogwarts? What was up with that?
Question.
You know? They're all about the mystic arts, but not the creative arts.
Yeah, why don't they?
Am I stirring this in, the salt?
Yes.
Okay.
And then we're gonna also stir some apple cider vinegar, which I'm not, it's just a tiny little bit, but sure thing recipe. And then 1/4 cup of heavy cream. And this is quite heavy. This is not the healthiest recipe we've made on this show. Cool.
What position would you play on Quidditch?
I don't think I'd play Quidditch.
Oh,
I was never a school sports kid.
I would be all about Quidditch. I would be a bludger. Or
Yeah.
a beater. That's what they're called. I would be a beater.
Yeah.
Like crazy. Yeah.
I don't have strong feelings about this. School is for academics, and it really bugged me that I should have had this as a rant in Classic Alice. I feel like it's
Yeah,
really
you
Alice thing.
know, I mean, I'm just gonna say I was the captain of my high school wrestling team, so we're going to have to agree to disagree before you even state your opinion on this one.
I just don't like that I lost scholarship money because they were giving scholarships, especially in college, because they give money to sports because sports brings in, you know, I don't know, viewers or something.
There's a lot of scholarships to. There's a lot of different ways
But if they had
that
allotted that
scholarships
money
into.
to, I don't want to offend you.
You can't offend me. You'll offend some viewers who love playing sports in high school.
Who on my channel? Who is watching this? Who watched Classic
You never
Alice
know.
all the way through?
You know what? No. Because I was on the high school wrestling team when I was in high school, and I was in the school plays in the fall as well.
I think
All
our
right, so
age
there
group
are some
did
multitasking
more.
people that can do sports and art
I'm sure
at
there
the same
are,
time,
but
myself included. Let's not work with labels here, okay? Let's
I
not.
just don't like
Okay.
school sports. It's a place for learning, not triviality.
That's cool. I mean,
I
Harry
like it.
Potter was captain of his Quidditch team, and he pretty much saved the world. So.
We're taking this off to cool
Mhm.
until room temperature, so that might take a hot minute. We don't have to do anything with this until that cools, so we're gonna start
Oh,
the
nice.
chocolate frogs.
Okay.
I have a double boiler. If you don't have a double boiler, you can do this in the microwave. There are melting instructions, but I have one, so I'm gonna use it because I never use it.
Cool. I do not have a double boiler, so this will be interesting to see how a double boiler works.
It's just there's water in one pot, and then you pop another one on top of it.
Oh, so like the steam
Yeah, the steam
does
cooks
the
it.
thing? Okay.
And it
Can I have
just-
a few just for
No.
this one?
There's no way this is gonna. We probably shouldn't make very many. I just don't know how much we need. And then we just kind of have to stir it constantly
Okay.
once it starts melting down.
It's really interesting. It tastes like chocolate.
Huh?
Yeah.
Huh? What's your favorite book in the series? Oh, we already did that. What's your
Yeah.
favorite? Who's your favorite character?
Tonks.
Really?
Yes, yep. I feel like,
She doesn't get very much airtime.
I know, but just like, I don't know what it is, but I feel like if I had read these books in high school, that would have been the character I would have had like the big crush on. That's my biggest regret with
Sit there
reading
for a
these.
second.
She still has an effect on things. I don't know. Tonks spoke to me for whatever reason, and that's been the thing about these reading these books now is that I was kind of lucky enough as a kid to be growing up at the same rate that Harry Potter was. You know, when
Yeah.
I was the same age when the books would come out, and that's my biggest regret
Yeah.
about starting the books now is that I didn't get to experience this as it happened and have a character that I probably would have related in a lot. Like it's weird, but there's also some. It's also interesting reading it for the first time from like an adult's perspective, because what is it? The fourth book.
Well, let's glance here. Which one is the fourth one? The Deathly Hollow?
No.
It says, oh, you're 7. Sorry, I can't read.
Goblet of Fire. Okay. So, Goblet of Fire. Before I read Goblet of Fire, everyone's like, I love the book, a lot of stuff happens, but Harry is his most annoying. Like, he's his most teenagery, complaining, slashing out all the time. And so I'm reading it with that in mind, and I'm like almost halfway through, and it's like, I'm not getting the whiny teenager thing. What I'm getting is a kid who's grown up in an abusive household his entire life, and has now had like death attempts made on him almost once a year. And in this book in particular, at least for the first half, nobody believes him. So you have this child of abuse with hardcore PTSD, and nobody's validating his experience at all. I'd be pissed off and lashing out at people too. Like, at that point I was like, you know what, Harry, you want to scream? Go for it. That's like the healthiest thing you can do right now.
He was lashing out at Hermione and Ron, who weren't like not believing him.
Sometimes we hurt the people
that
who love us the
true.
most.
Yes, I agree. I think it's a very real. I think that makes complete sense. It's just not necessarily excusable.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Either way, I understood. I understood where he was coming from. I was like, you go,
So
Harry.
you would have been an angsty teen?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I was an angsty preteen. From like...
ever angsty.
I'd say from 11 to... Yeah, about
bitchy.
11 to 13. From like 5th grade to 8th grade, I was the angsty, like, hated everything kid.
Really?
Yeah. And then high school came, and I had this weird high school where there was just a lot of activities, so I got to, like, do a bunch of stuff and actually meet people I had interests in, or similar interests in for once. And then high school I loved. Middle school, you could not pay me like $2 million to go through again. Ever.
I hated middle school because I was bullied, so like I hated the social life of it, but I loved school. So, like, I would go to school all day long as there was nobody there. Like,
no, I hated school. I hated school. I hated, because I was also bullied, like I hated all that stuff. And then high school.
What was your bullying like?
So probably on purpose, I've blanked out a lot of the memories. Most of it was verbal.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the guys knew, like, I've been doing martial arts since I was like 5 years old, so they like knew I could take care of myself in that sense. But I was also deathly afraid of getting expelled because we had like a no fighting policy. Like, and it doesn't matter who starts
It's like the reverse of what
My school's like, doesn't matter who starts it, if there's a fight, you're both expelled, and like, I didn't want that to happen, so they knew that they could like say anything and I wouldn't do anything about it. It was not fun, but, cause middle school, we all wanted to be like we were in high school, so we had like the social, statuses and things. High school, we actually combined with another middle school, so we were like massively overcrowded and there were way too many of us, so we didn't care who was popular or not, we were just trying to get to class on time. Beautiful, wonderful, highly recommend it.
High school was fine. I moved in between middle school and high school, and so it was this new group of people, and I was okay. Like, people weren't making fun of me. I was new, and they didn't know me well enough to be like, she likes school, what a nerd. And I don't think anyone cared at that point either. Yeah. When I was there, this is the first person who ever asked me out. It's my favorite story.
Oh, someone asked you out in high school. That must have been nice.
Someone asked me out in high school. But listen to what happened. The dumbest. Such an idiot. So this guy turns around. He's like, hey, do you want to go homecoming with me? And I looked at him and said deeply sincerely, I need to think about it. Like, first of all, it's not that high stakes, you dick shit. Like,
hey, back then.
Oh my goodness. But so then, I think he asked me on a Thursday.
Okay.
I was like, I have to think about it. Can I tell you tomorrow? Like, oh, I guess so. So we went home. There was
that
a
is
hurricane.
Not the way he planned.
Yeah, no. There was a hurricane. We had off school the next day. And then it was the weekend. So this poor kid had to wait 3 days, and I came back and I said, I gave it some thought. And I don't think so at this time. like he applied for a job.
At this time, See, here's the thing. First of all, I'm
Oh,
like,
no, it was
so
terrible.
did you say it was so that he had like an option to ask later? But also, I feel
No,
like there
that's
were
just how
so
I
many
thought.
conversations you had over the past 3 days of like, how do I tell him no? How do I like say this without like hurting his feelings?
I
I'm so
didn't-
nervous. Like,
I just made the decision.
made the
how I was
decision
going to
yourself.
frame it.
Cool. Maybe you should have talked to some people beforehand, just to like,
So awful.
you know, maybe a friend or
Just
two.
one.
Yeah.
One.
Just
Even
like,
your
hey.
mother, Katie.
Yeah, that would have been good. Advice is a thing. That
Wow.
works.
I don't think I've ever turned anyone down since though. Like maybe I have, but it may have been just like I don't want to ruin the friendship kind of thing. Because people stop, like strangers don't ask you out after a while.
I mean, not in LA, at least. That
Which
I've
sucks, because then
witnessed.
you're like, oh, I kind of like this friend group, and I want to fuck it up.
It's kind of like, I mean, it's hard out here just because there isn't a lot of interaction
Yeah.
outside of like hanging out with friends or doing your everyday normal stuff. I mean, there's going to the bar and whatnot, but who wants to like ask out someone that could potentially be a, you know,
Murderer stalker?
no, I was going to say significant other. Who wants to ask out a potentially significant other at like O'Reilly's pub, you know?
I've asked people out at bars, but I don't go to bars that often anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just the effort it takes to like make this look presentable.
Not much.
All of it. So much effort.
Not much.
It's just so much effort
Not
to
to
like
me.
drive. I'm not sure. Gross. I hope you loved that video. If you want more videos like this one and the other ones listed on my site, please visit patreon.com/katehackett.